starting this off with a brief moment of silence. And this is to remember the Canadian Elite Basketball League and the 9 other teams that have to deal with the Scarborough Shooting Stars. D, please put your head down. Bow your head for a moment. Put your head down. Put your head down. D.
It's definitely some dark times in the timeline right now. Yeah, Joe was saying it, man. If Scarborough plays like this, no one's beating them. They did everything right tonight, and before we start talking about the game itself, you bullied us into this. We finally did it. We were hoping we would do this off of victory, but we are here. We are live for the first time, and yeah, it's tough. It's tough out in these streets.
Man, I don't do anything unless we get paid either. So I'm waiting for my account to pop up by email with e-transfer, which you haven't got. But you know what we did get tonight, D? We got a 117-104 final. For those that missed the game, the Scarborough Shooting Stars hammered the Brampton Honey Badgers. The box score is a lot. There were 6 double-digit scores for the Shooting Stars. I'm going to read you some stats here. 27 points for Miles Powell. It is league-leading 9th target score time winner. 25 points for Turk Smith, who is on another level. And then 20 for Javen Johnson. If my math is correct there, I believe that's 72 points between the 3 of those guys. And then it's like, Frank Mitchell, casual, 15 and 17. And then you've got, who else? Ikoy Uat, 10 points. Michael Foster Jr., 10 points off the bench. Like, you know what, D? This was overwhelming in a way. I mean, you and I came into this game and thought, you know what, maybe this would be a good ball game. But before the game, I was talking to a couple people, and I said, this might be a 30-point game. You know, when you go to the horse race, you go to the track and you see the horses in the paddock before the race, and they got that sweat on them, and you're like, you see that gleam, you're like, that horse is going to win. They always say, bet the horse that has a little sweat on him. Every single player that played for the Shooting Stars had sweat on him tonight. And thank goodness, the Brampton Honey Badgers have home court locked down, because if these last 2 games mattered for anything in standings, this was the one of the 2 they needed to win the home and home, because they're not going on the road and have any easier of a matchup against Scarborough on Monday. This was just like top to bottom masterclass. I don't even know what other way to put it. Like, what was your initial reaction starting target time when Scarborough just kind of ran the table there and we're like, yeah, you know what? We're just going to blow you out now.
Yeah, I mean, going into target time, it certainly felt like the game. I mean, just the beginning of that fourth quarter, you knew this basketball game was over. And what's frustrating, Tyler's just mentioned that, the first 3 quarters, Brampton looked like they had some breath of air, they were on life support, and it seemed like they were at least going to try to make this thing interesting. And then it was just a barrel road, 3 after 3 after 3. And I mean, in that first half, they didn't hit a single 3 for the Brampton Honey Badgers, and you're not going to win a lot of basketballs if you're playing that way. And it just seemed like any time the Honey Badgers would catch any sort of momentum, if just somebody stepped up, and it was just, I don't know if you felt like this, Matt, but it just felt like Scarborough was really playing with its food, as shitty as that sounds.
Yeah, I mean, there we go. Mitchell with a casual league-leading 13th double-double. We said that on the broadcast. I had to read that 4 times in my head before I said it. I'm like, 13th double-double? That guy is on one, man. I want to get to Frank in a minute, but Brampton played, and I would arguably say, their worst game of the season. Like, as much as they played solid for 3 quarters, and it may look like that, Sean East had 1 point in the first half. Trenton Flowers had 5 points in the first half, and they were only down 10 at the break. And Turk and Miles were playing out of their minds for the Shooting Stars. And it was like, okay, well, I kind of feel like I said to Joe during the broadcast, as you would have heard, down 10, and you're winning the rebounding battle against the best rebounding team in the league. I feel like I'm in a decent spot if I'm Brampton at that moment. But then it's a game of runs, man. And like, there is no such thing as a bad shot for this Scarborough team, which makes no sense. Like, Miles Powell darting down the court and shooting logo 3s or like deep 3s. And it's like, they don't even give Brampton a chance to set up. And this is one of the things that you and I have talked about a ton this season, even with Joe. Defense is the Achilles heel to this Brampton team. Like, 117 points tonight, as you pointed out, was the most Scarborough has scored in a single game this season. And it just makes sense. Like, Brampton's defense, I mean, Scarborough's going to hit shots that you just have to tip your cap to, but Brampton's defense in transition, man, was brutal tonight. Like, it was brutal. It was one of those things where I'm like, I don't think they're going to get a stop. Like these guys, like Scarborough can just run all day and nobody's going to get a single stop on any of this. And that was kind of the thing that was kind of shocking. And I mean, shocking might not be the right word because I think we've seen this happen quite a bit down the last a little bit of stretch of games here. But you do it to a team like Scarborough, who's the best team in the league, and they're really going to make it show on the box score. And I'm quite frankly shocked they only won this game by 13.
Yeah, it's funny because, you know, we've talked about it on the podcast. Brampton somehow has this ability to get you to play at their level and have these low scoring games. But in this game, the wheels just completely fell off. Now, it doesn't help that, you know, Moncrief wasn't playing in this game. You know, I think he would have had some sort of a presence in the paint, because I think he's the fifth best rebounder in this league. So that was really coming out of the gate. Concussion. So hopefully we'll see him on Thursday. And then you don't have Tyson in a game like this. Tyson's presence, not lack of presence, really shows when, you know, this team goes 0 for whatever and doesn't hit a single three in the first half. It was one of those, and it was frustrating because, like, you know, I have the ability of running to the Brampton sidelines, during timeouts and during dead ball situations. And I have never, in all the games that I've covered, I've never seen Serta as frustrated as he was. And he was just saying basic stuff like, guys, I just need you to get the shooters and at least put a hand up. Like, you're not even making an effort. And it was just, again, anytime the Brampton had momentum, they would just hit a three that would kill it. And it was just the story of the game.
Yeah, and this is a tough loss too, right? You're riding back-to-back wins, nationally televised win against Winnipeg, not a big deal. And then a big win against Montreal that gets you the playoff spot. And then it's like high, super low now. And I mean, I don't know. I don't really feel good about Monday, to be honest with you. I mean, not that you and I are playing in this game, but it's just one of those things, man, where it's like it's such an up and down thing in the CEBL. The season's so short that you have to experience these up and downs and then get to the point where you can work through them and still be that powerful team that you are. And that's exactly what Scarborough is. Frank Mitchell, man, we talked to these guys before the game and we were talking about the 20-win record. If there's one team that would try and get the 20-win record and not worry about what's going on, it's the Shooting Stars, man. Like, they could rest guys the next two games. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to them, but they wanted those 20 wins. And before the game, Frank Mitchell said to us, absolutely, we're going for the 20 wins. Javen Johnson said in the post-game interview a couple of games ago, absolutely, we're going for the 20 wins. Miles Powell said after the game to you, we're going for the 20 wins. Frank's quote to us before the game was, we leave in here with 19. Mm-hmm. So that's exactly what they did. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this now, because you and I talked about the bad boys kind of reputation before the game. And you were kind of like, you know what? It is true, but like, it's a story and this and that, but like maybe not to make. Well, we saw, and for what I'm referencing, for those that didn't catch the game, I called them the bad boy Pistons of the CEBL. They like to get into it with guys. They have no problem butting heads with you.
It's funny when you said it to Vernon too, because there was a smirk on his face, like, "Oh, I didn't think about this," but yeah, we definitely have that in our DNA.
Yeah, and like you even saw it a couple of times. Like, they're in Serta's face on the bench. They're in the Brampton players' faces on the bench. Like, they don't care, man. And like, that's the scary thing. Like, we've seen a lot of teams in the past have attitude and flex when they're down or end up burning them on the back end. But these guys just do whatever they want and nothing seems to get in their way. And I still think that is the scariest part. Like Joe said at the end of the broadcast, like, they're playing like they're having fun. Like, this is not like they're like Turk Smith was like kicking the ball out of the net on the one end of the court. They're getting technicals, they're smiling, they're having fun, and they're still up 15 points, right? And that to me is like the biggest, not slap in the face to the rest of the league, but that's the biggest, hey, by the way, we're balling and no one can stop us kind of message. And it's hard to envision. Like, I don't know, I want to hear your thoughts on this. I said to Joe after the game, Winnipeg or Vancouver, who can stop them? He said Ottawa maybe. Like, that's the only, and I agree too. Like, Ottawa's got their number. 2 wins against Brampton Scarborough this season. 2 of their 4 losses in the ends have come from the Ottawa Blackjacks. But Miles Powell didn't play in either of those games anyway. So like, you're running out of teams where it's like, oh, well, maybe these guys can beat. It just seems like Ottawa might be the only team that can beat them now, because if they play like they did tonight, nobody's going to beat them.
Yeah, you know, I've always said, when you find that balance of being competitive, playing disciplined basketball, but then having fun while you're doing it. Like we've seen teams that are really good, but they're not necessarily, high-fiving, screaming, have that massive smile on their face. Like I think that's the scariest thing about this game. Like this team plays with sort of a, to make a comic book reference, like a Joker mentality, right?
Oh my God, here we go.
When when the Joker's going around,
Joey, how do I get out of this?
causing wreckage in Gotham City, he's smiling and he's laughing and doing it at the same time. And it's like the why so serious with a basketball team with Scarborough. Like they just have so much fun doing it. And when a team is doing that and having that much fun, it cuts so much deeper. And I think that's the part that just fascinates me so much. And this is a team, like you said, could easily roll over on Monday, rest their key starters, give some guys that don't typically get minutes a run, but they're determined. And, it was funny to hear Miles Powell there at the end with me. He basically cut a promo. He said, we're going for 20. It's OVO night. Come celebrate this season. And we're not done yet. And so kudos to them, man. They came in here and they silenced this crowd real quick in that second half.
Yeah, no, why don't you tell us about the Odyssey or Spider-Man? What do you got? What's your... But this is...
I have no notes. Those movies are perfect.
This is an interesting one, too. In Postgame interview, Frank Mitchell grabbing the mic saying, MD race over, it's Miles Powell. And that's where it kind of becomes the perfect storm of enter Winnipeg fans. Teddy Allen, to a lot of people, is the easy front runner for MVP right now. Well, Miles Powell is slowly collecting games here to the point where he could probably make a run at it, but I still think Teddy. What do you think?
Yeah, I do too. It's funny because full discretion, our ballots are due on sometime this week. So we have the privilege of having our say and make a vote in this whole thing. And I was looking at the month of July for Powell because I think, to me, Teddy's the front runner, and for me, it's both sides of the basketball, right? He's been great defensively. I think he's second or third in steals, and he's just kind of been the most important. Obviously, the offensive explosion he had this year is an indication of just how unstoppable he has been this year. But then, I was looking at the month of July, and Powell has only scored 18.3 points this month, and I just think Teddy Allen has been the most consistent over the course of the season. And, to Powell's credit, he's allowed guys like Turkoavian to come into this team and do his things and, kind of been the most effective version of himself. And that's a selflessness that doesn't get talked about. And unfortunately, you can't bring that up when you're making your votes and saying like, he took a step back so somebody else can step up. Because on the other side, Teddy's just been lethal all season long.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that's going to end. Chris Wiggins over under 5.5 movie references from D. Yeah, I'm going to hammer the over on that. Over under for, yeah, there it is again. Teddy, can we get that other comment back up? What did Wiggins say about the MVP thing? MVP is Teddy and there's no other choice. Yeah, you know what? I mean, this is going to sound biased, obviously, because we're obviously Brampton fans, but initially I would have voted for Miles. Now I think I'm chips all in on Teddy, and I think you kind of nailed that pretty well there, D, but it's hard, man. Like, this is nice. Pause. It's hard because it's nice because now there are enough players in this league where there is a full conversation about MVP. Like there are 4 or 5 guys easily now that could not easily, but could be in the running for MVP. And we didn't even have Mitch Creek this season. Like he's only played 2 games, and rumor is based on his Instagram stories that he might be back in the country and may play tomorrow and maybe playoff eligible. Like that just adds another whole twist to this thing. And again, I like to see that, but that just like makes everything so much stickier in the East now because whoever comes out of this has to deal with that beast if they get through whoever they need to get through in the West in order to get to the finals. Like it's like the perfect storm. It's fun because obviously there's a lot going on, but at the same time too, it's like, man, I don't know. It's just stressful when you have these games because obviously you and I want Brampton to win. There's no secret there, but at the same time too, it's like it's really hard to get invested in this when it's such an up and down season. I shouldn't say really hard to, but it's just like you have a game like tonight where it's a reality check, man. This is like reality check time of the year too. Like you come in, you lose by double digits on your home court to the best team in the East, who you just flaunted your best roster towards, basically.
And to that, I mean, this might awaken a beast within the Brampton Honey Badgers, and maybe they needed a punch in the face like this from the best team for them to realize, like, if they want to win this thing, if they want to overcome the demons that is the Scarborough Shooting Stars, you're not just going to be able to roll out here and just play. You have to play another level of basketball, right? Whatever you're doing right now is not good enough. So, I know Flowers, I know East were really, really motivated for this game, and I think that they'll really reflect. I mean, Mondays will be interesting. I don't know what kind of rosters will be rolled out on both sides, but hopefully this is a reality and gut check for the team.
Yeah, like if this game doesn't matter to Brampton now, that's hilarious. That guy Ty Creek might play tomorrow. Wiggins also might throw another likely out there. Yeah, breaking news: Andrew Savory might play tomorrow as well. Not on the broadcast, might play tomorrow. Trickery, man, trickery in Vancouver, but I respect it. The thing I would ask you now is, like, would you even roll your roster out? Like, obviously, Serta wants to put out a solid team, but like, Bronson Chambers dressed tonight. He hasn't dressed all season. So in my back of my head, I'm like, Danilo Juricic was also in the lineup there, and he has missed the last
shout out
couple
to
of
him.
games.
He had a big
Dude,
stop against
man.
Mitchell there. Like, he stood his ground and he didn't foul him. I was really impressed.
7 points, 4 boards in 13 minutes of play. Like, he was good. Like, there were a bunch of guys for Brampton tonight that were nice. Like, Tegra Ize, season high 14 points, 8 boards. I don't think he has 14 points on the whole season in the rest of the 12 games he played prior to tonight.
Just to give a peek up behind the curtain, right at halftime, there's a handler for each of these games, and Elias, who is our guy here, came up to me and he's like, "Hey, so who are you thinking about interviewing?" And obviously, you have to give one from one team and the other team, depending on what the score is. You go with the guy from the winning team, and I said Kirkwavian, which was kind of a no-brainer in that first half, and I'm like, Tigra, like, that wasn't on my bingo. He was the best player in that first half, and he balled out to his credit.
Yeah, that's the stuff that I do like to see in these games, man. Like, he started the last 2 games. He started the one out in Winnipeg. He started against Montreal. And, like, the perfect thing about him is he has, like, spurts. Like, he plays, like, 3-4 minutes. Then he'll come out. Then you won't see him for, like, 10. Then he'll pop back in. He's like 24 years old. Like, he's athletic. And that's a guy that has been a nice fill-in while they're still trying to navigate Keon Ambrose Hilton's role. For those in the West that remember Keon from last year, it's a little bit of a different Keon this year. He's got a much different role. He's come off the bench for a majority of the games this season, and his scoring has been down. And obviously that's not a knock on him at all, but it's just a different system. Like, it was him and Sean running the show in Edmonton last year. Now they have about 4 or 5 guys that could run the show here. So I think trying to navigate his role and trying to understand his importance to the team. Obviously, he has an important role with the team. It's just a matter of putting your finger on it and determining what it is and how you activate that. And it's almost like one of those sayings too, like, in baseball when they're like, oh, like, your best free agent or your best trade deadline pickup is like a guy that's coming back from injury. Well, this is kind of like what they have here. Like, they have all the right pieces, in my mind at least. Like, their roster is one of the strongest on paper in the league. It's just about finding a way to make it click. And you and I talked about this a ton on the pod too. Like, it's almost like you get you have so many riches that it comes to the point where you're like, man, how do you make all this fit? And it's not like you're dying for certain pieces. Like, they have scorers, they have defenders, they have length, they have speed, they have transition guys. It's just, how do you make it all click? And that's the tough part, man. Like, with so many moving parts in this league, it's very hard to like kind of make that work. I mean, obviously, the latest guy to be in the fold is Trenton Flowers. What did he have tonight? 20. He had 13 and 11. Sorry, he had 20 and 9. Sorry, 29 and 5. So that right there was something where I'm like, okay, well, he came to life. He had 15 points in the second half. That's the Trenton that we're used to. If you get a full game of Trenton Flowers and Sean East, and you only lost by 13, and they basically, again, respectfully, only played half the game, I would say, stats-wise, like, Trenton Flowers is a guy that could drop 30 every night in this league. You give him 10 more, Sean's not going to drop 16 again. Like, he's a 20 plus point player every game, 25 or 24, whatever it is according to his average. Like, even those numbers jump up, and you're in a great spot. Like, it's just tough to ignore some of the stats on the paper, though, man. Like, they out-rebounded the best rebounding team in the league, 59-41. Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, this is like, you do that and you're in a great spot. But it's just a confusing stat sheet to me. I mean, they had 6 guys in double digits points. That is Brampton. They had 59 boards. They put up 104 points. I would say to you, if I blindly saw this stat sheet, I would think that Brampton won this game.
Right.
But
Right.
then it's just one of those things. Like, if it's any other team, there's probably a good chance that you won. But the fact that it's Scarborough makes it 10 times harder, and that really sucks. And I think one of the things that we were pumped up to watch tonight was the backcourt battle of East and Flowers against Smith and Powell. And I think that was answered pretty well tonight as to who the better backcourt was. Smith and Powell combining for 52 points. That was pretty clear right there off the top. And to be honest with you, dude, like, Smith played 26 minutes. Powell played 23. They didn't even play that much. Like, these are guys that could easily be playing like 30 plus minutes. So they were taking breathers at points, and their largest lead, they were up 21 points at one point. Stat Guy Ty, sounds like he had all the stats. Yeah, I got them wire transferred from you, Stat Guy Ty. I got them right in my head. I'm wearing Meta glasses. They came right through my glasses. Appreciate that. But it's just like so many things where I'm like, I'd love to say like Brampton just had an off night, this and that, but so many things point towards Scarborough just being the better team all around. And again, as much as it pains me to say it, because we're Brampton guys through and through, and we're Serta boys every time we come to this arena, but it's annoying, man. It's like, it's just tough because like it's the thorn in their side that they can't seem to solve, and they've been fluttering around 500, and you see these performances from guys like Flowers, and it's just like, oh, okay, there's the bright light, there's the thing at the end of the
And
tunnel, but then
wasted.
it's like you get humbled again, dude. Like you look up at the scoreboard and you're like, we're still down double digits somehow. Wasted is a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy because I know this Brampton team's been talking about the lack of having like a dog, and it seems like Flowers has finally sort of filled that void because, I mean, from the jump, you know, when we're talking to shoot around, like he was super motivated, and he talked about little things that have motivated him based on what he heard of, you know, not Scarborough taking this seriously. And so he took it personal, and he really, really wanted to make a statement in his game, and he really put this team on his back. But unfortunately, like the other guys didn't really show up. And I think the thing that's really concerning to me, Matt, is the last time these two teams played in Scarborough, Sean East was held to less than, I think it was like 15 points. Like they really kept him in check, and they were able to do that here tonight as well. And, you know, we've always talked about, you know, Sean's been missing another dynamic score. Well, that dynamic score showed up in Trenton Flowers. But unfortunately, Sean wasn't able to capitalize that. And I mean, he stepped up in the second half and it was able to do really well. But for him, it wasn't enough. We needed all four quarters from Sean East in order to, you know, be effective and walk away with the victory. So it's tough.
And Tyrell Vernon said to us before the game too, like, the best way to stop Sean East and Trenton Flowers, that backcourt duo, is to just make them hit the tough shots. And they're going to hit the tough shots. But they really held them tonight. Flowers, 7 for 19. East, 4 of 10. I think you have to go back pretty far to see the last game. Sean East only had 10 shot attempts. And the scary part is, to me, is like, dude, I don't even know what you adjust. Like, I don't know what you change to play these guys again on Monday. Like, I don't know where you kind of step in and you're like, this is what we need to do. And that's the easy answer. Like, I mean, just have Flowers and East score more. Like, I don't even think that's a simple answer. Like, Roddy Peters struggled too, 3 of 13. Brandon Moon too, 4 of 17. Like, you hit 3 or 4 more shots and it's a completely different ball game. But I'd hate to say it, like, the cliche thing is just hit more shots. Like, they were 36 for 90 from the field, but certain guys just didn't hit when they needed them. Like, Tegra Eze, 7 of 10. With all due respect, that's a rarity, man. Like, he's not going to hit 7 of 10 shots again. I mean, he may, but in this situation against the best team in the league, like, any player, that's hard to replicate when you're getting bench minutes for most of the season. If he did do it, they'd put themselves in a good position to win. I mean, he was an animal tonight, but I just don't know. Like, the transition play by Scarborough was so good. I don't think that's something that you just change in one walkthrough or one practice on Brampton's side of things. And Joe and I kept saying it, man. Like, transition torched them. Like, transition points tonight, fast break points, 19-8. That's basically the difference in the ball game. What was it? 13 points. I mean, 11 points right there in transition.
And you know what's crazy about those transition points? It's not just easy layups. It's not just easy buckets in the paint. Like, a lot of those fast break points were them settling for threes or pull up threes, and that's just going to kill you in a game like this.
Yeah, Miles Powell, I think he had 6 threes. I want to say at least 4 or 5 of those were just pull up. Like everybody's still in the backcourt.
How many times this
Like,
game did you say from the logo?
dude, like these guys are just shooting from everywhere, man. Even Turk, like, and that's like, again, one of the things that we also need to consider here is the fact that this was a road game for Scarborough. Like them at home, they have 1 loss at home. They're 10-1. Yours truly was on the call there. Little hat tip there. But that was like they're doing this on the road too. It's not even like they need home court advantage. And Miles Powell saying like, oh, it's OVO night and come out and support and whatever. And I'm like, man, that's like plus 20 points for these guys. Like everything is working so well for them. So which makes things even scarier looking at the playoff picture. Like they're going to go on into the playoffs and there is a chance they host all the way through. If they get that far, they're going to host all the way through, man. And like you and I have been to the Pan Am Center. If you haven't been to the Pan Am Center, it's smaller, it's relatively tight,
way more intimate.
It's intimate. Like you are, it kind of reminds me in a crazy way of the Verdun Auditorium in Montreal. Like it's intimate, it's smaller, but it gives you that feel where you're like, man, this is like I don't want to play in this gym. Like I do not want to play against these guys. I don't want to play in this gym. They feel comfortable at home, like, and that's the scary part, man. They feel comfortable anywhere now. So it would be nuts to see them on the road in the playoffs because I genuinely think whoever they're playing with home court advantage, it doesn't really matter. And that's the scary thing for Brampton. Like, you saw this team on the road, well, now you have to go face them, or you saw this team at home, now you have to go face them on the road. I mean, that to me is just an absolute recipe for, again, I hate to say it, but disaster, man. Like, there are things we saw tonight, transition defense, shooting, I mean, sometimes shot selection, like things that you can't just fix overnight. And that's not because guys aren't capable of it. It's just because all the pieces you have, that's not something that you can just plug in and solve within 24 hours time. And that's the challenge for Alex Serta. We've seen that all season. That's the CEBL, man. Everything changes on a dime, right? And that's what makes it really difficult and frustrating probably at times to coach. But that's the deal that's what these guys signed up for, right? And they've done a pretty good job at it so far with a bunch of moving pieces. For those again that haven't tuned into Brampton this year, there have been a lot of guys on the come and on the go. I don't know if I said that right. Coming and going. How's that? Yeah, how's that? Man, we're gonna get canceled here. Sorry, Joey. But I think the tough thing is now it's like it just gets harder. It just gets tougher to face the East, specifically this team. And Ottawa's not that far behind either. I wouldn't want to face Niagara, even though they had a bad game the other night. It just gets swampier. This game just causes more red flags.
For those that are watching, for those that are listening, I know Matt sounds like he's at the edge right now, and I've got to hold him back, and certainly be the case. I might have to buy him a drink after this. But listen, as we wrap this thing up, you know, we did come into tonight pretty high considering the results of last night. Shout out to Calgary. I think we need to find a GoFundMe and do something for the folks over in Calgary for getting that dub last night against Niagara and giving Brampton a home playoff game here on Thursday. Let's go half glass full. I know you're half glass empty, guys, so let's go half glass full for a second here, okay? We've got a home playoff game here on Thursday. What are some of the things you got to at least look forward to for a potential matchup against either Ottawa or Niagara in this building, and give us some light here, Matt.
You want light? That's the only light you're getting on my end, my friend. What did that guy say? Brampton's second in line to be canceled behind Cannonball Chris. Yeah, put a bleep button. I haven't swore once yet, which is actually kind of, I guess, lucky for you guys. But
anyways, Matt, put a bow on this thing.
Yeah, no, I think again, I sound negative. I mean, obviously in the moment, like, you lose to the best team in the East by double digits. I'm not happy about that because you have to play them again Monday, and that's your ultimate measurement or your measuring stick as to how you line up in this league. The best team. It is what it is. I mean, obviously they're not as good as the best team right now. It's black and white. It is what it is. Move on. But this is where it gets kind of sketchy. The home playoff game that you'll get could either be against Niagara or Ottawa. Niagara looked really poor their last couple of games. Ottawa are freakishly athletic. They took Winnipeg down to the wire the other day. Winnipeg just balled out there at the end, and that is what it is. Like, you can't stop Winnipeg. It's Xavier Moon and Teddy Buckets just doing whatever they want, and the West Coast gang just also doing whatever they want. But if I'm playing a team, I want to play Niagara. I don't want to play Ottawa. Ottawa is freakishly athletic. Losses feel worse than they are usual. Yeah. Ottawa's freakishly athletic. Alex Fudge. They got Cleveland. They got Harmon. They got Smart. They got Moore. Like, we have seen those. Like, there's a reason they've beaten Scarborough twice. There's a reason why they are better than the record that they have right now. Niagara, again, that's nothing against them, back-to-back champs, but their roster looks different. They lack inside guys. Khalil Ahmad has been a little off his game the last couple of outings. Vinales has been taking questionable shots. Like, this is going to sound wild, but I'd rather roll the dice with the team that's in, third now, as opposed to the team that's in fifth. So I'd rather take the third-place back-to-back champs over the fifth-place team that's on the outside looking in right now, because I think you match up a lot better against a smaller team in Niagara than you would an athletic team like Ottawa, who, again, they don't care, man. Justin Mazzulla's nuts. Like, those guys will go in anywhere and just try to beat the
I've been
heck
saying
out
it all
of you.
season. Like, Ottawa is its own worst enemy, right? Though the team that beats Ottawa is themselves in these games, and you talked about it, right? There's all the signs. There are all the pieces for this team to go all the way, but they just get in their own way. And so you're right. I think Ottawa is the scariest team to potentially see. The crazy thing is they might not even make the playoffs. We'll find out tomorrow after Ottawa plays Edmonton. Should they lose, Montreal gets in. So we'll have to wait and see. But I appreciate you doing your best effort to remain optimistic. I don't think you really did. Good job.
Where'd the person go? Someone was holding a gun to my head back here for a minute, trying to be it. Anyway,
all right, let's put a ball on this thing.
All right, well, final score here. Shooting Stars pick up their 19th win of the season. That's the most. They're one away now from the all-time CEBL record, which is 20. They will try to go for that on Monday. Shooting Stars win 117-104. Tough loss for Brampton, but we move on. Next game, again, Monday. That is 4 p.m. start time, the Pan Am Center. You can watch it on CBC Gem, CEBL Plus, and YouTube. And if you missed any part of this game, you can go online. You can catch it on demand on the CEBL YouTube or the CBC Gem.
But you
YouTube
wouldn't
page
recommend
as well. Yeah, I'm not going to go back and watch it. I don't know about you. You know what I would recommend doing, though, is liking and subscribing, following the Target Podcast. Target Score Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, everything. You can sign us off on this one, man. I got to go. Just end it.
Yeah, shout out to anyone that tuned in for the first time. This is our first live, and obviously not under circumstances that we would have loved to come on here. But we always appreciate the support. And
what is this,
shout out
State of the Union now? End this. What are you?
shout out to the Podfather for setting us up for success here. And yeah, we're back on Thursday. We'll have an episode drop before that first game on Thursday as well. And we'll come in with a little more light. And I'm not talking about the ones that are on Matt's face right now. So. Shout out to all of you.
I'm smiling, man. I'm smiling. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Yeah, because you're leaving.
Bye.